Chris, I can confirm that there is still a heavy police presence near the area of Ford Road in Holiday. As of tonight, police have confirmed that there is a man. They're dealing with one man who is still on the property at this time. They also tell me that the suspect has shot down at least 2 police drones and that he has a police scanner that forced law enforcement to go radio silent. I've also been told by police on scene that residents on Ford Road have been asked to shelter in place. No official information has been released at this time.
Once it started burning in the grass, the fire department responded, was able to get into some of those areas to help contain the fire.
The citizens of Graham and Olney are set to be getting a new pair of eyes in the skies, or I should say 26 pairs of eyes in the skies, as last week the Young County Commissioner's Court has approved the usage and the funding of flock security cameras. Here at Wichita Raceway Park, engines are roaring and hearts are racing for all the right reasons, but this week the WRP family is rallying around one of their very own. Brittany Schmidt's ride took a devastating turn off the track. Attendees for this weekend's 41st Annual Apache Rattlesnake Festival will hunt rattlesnakes, learn about rattlesnakes, and even eat rattlesnakes. I talked with various people, from business owners to attendees, about why they come to this rattlesnake festival and what they enjoy the most about it. One of the things I've learned today about FFA is you do not have to be pursuing a career as a farmer to join. FFA welcomes all who wants to further their leadership, communication, and public speaking skills.
When Shaquan died, a part of us did die.
Shaquan's mother, Donna, shared with me her thoughts on the verdict and the 100-year sentence for the man who killed her son when he drove drunk on June 3rd, 2023.
The sentence did not come without a price for my husband and I, because we had to endure some graphic photos and details of how my son died, and it's just added on to the nightmare that we have already been living for a year and a half.
Shaquan's father, Lucius, says they just wanted accountability for what happened to his son, but it was hard to deal with seeing Wright come and go as he pleased during pretrial.
Like she said, from a year and a half, it's been pure hell, because he had never been in jail for the incident. And each time we went to the pretrials and the trial hearings and he was able to walk out, it was like pouring salt into an open wound.
Both Donna and Lucius have been able to endure this tragedy by leaning on their loved ones and God.
This is just a devastating, excruciating loss for us, and there's no, without family and friends and a faith in God, I don't know where we would be.
Shaquan's girlfriend was in the car with him during the wreck. Veronica Diaz had to undergo multiple surgeries and overcame being bound to a wheelchair for the first few months of her recovery. To this day, she still deals with immobility in her arm and ankle. She touched on the survivor's guilt she deals with.
It just took me a really long time and I'm still struggling with that, understanding, the science behind it and stuff. Court explained it really well, but that's probably the hardest thing for me, is to know that, it's just, he didn't make it, but I did.
Both Donna and Lucius have undergone individual and group counseling at Hospice of Wichita Falls, and say going to those meetings have given them an extended family with others that have been through similar tragic events.
We have the 15th highest food insecurity rate, or hunger rate, out of almost 200 food banks in the United States. So what it's going to do is make a bad situation even worse.
The shelves at the Wichita Falls Area Food Bank may look full now, but that may not last for long. The big, beautiful bill cuts more than $186 billion from SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It's what food advocates call the biggest reduction in a generation. CEO for the food bank, David O'Neill, told me they've seen an increase in food insecurity from 2021 to 2023.
We've increased by 23% the number of food insecure within our 12 counties we serve here in North Texas. It's gone up 23% over that time period. Again, we don't know the future, but we can expect, based on the bill, that number is going to continue to rise.
Many food banks, like the Wichita Falls Area Food Bank, will be relying on more help from their communities. O'Neill says these are some of the ways you can help during this time.
We are always in need of food. We're always in need of money to purchase food, to fill in the gaps of food that we get donated. But we also need volunteers. We need advocates. We have programs like SNAP-Ed that has been cut out of the One Big Beautiful Bill. We need assistance to continue to go out and help educate.
O'Neill said although the cuts the bill is set to make are disappointing, the food bank is going to stay positive and continue to help those in need.
The cup is half full, or you can look at it as half empty. We're going to look at it as the cup is half full, and we're going to figure this out. We're here to help nourish and feed people each and every day, and that's not going to disappear.
Kramer did everything with a lot of energy. And so play and joy and those things, you know, kids being kids and kids helping other kids, I just really think speaks to his character.
Kramer Bernard was like every other 12-year-old that enjoyed being outside, playing, and having fun. He tragically passed away after a UTV accident. Lindsay Lunn, a Franklin PTA member, describes Kramer as a sweet soul who put others before himself.
Kramer was so kind. He always was looking out for everyone around him. And he was just so smart and so vivacious, and he just had like a very infectious personality, and he, you know, loved to make people laugh, and he just really brightened whatever room he was walking into.
Since his passing, many people throughout the community have expressed the positive impact that Kramer had on their lives.
Kramer Bernard impacted so many people, and the outpouring of support and love from different schools within WFISD, the WFISD Police Department, like, has just been such a testament, I think, to how many people Kramer touched just by, you know, being him.
Franklin Elementary is dedicating their annual coin fundraiser to honor his life and legacy and renaming it Coins for Kramer. They plan to get a piece of new playground equipment in his name with those funds. Reagan Neighbor is another PTA member for the school. Neighbor says because of Kramer's love for the outdoors, Coins for Kramer makes perfect sense.
He just left a lasting legacy here, and so the money that we're raising will go back to putting something permanent on our playground, because Kramer loved being outside and was such a vibrant young boy, and so we're really excited to see what happens at the end of the fundraiser.
I asked Neighbor what she thinks the students will remember most about the fundraiser and the person Kramer was.
I think that they're just going to remember that they got to have an impact on something for Kramer, and that if it was somebody else, Kramer would have done it for them too.
We've got it, so it just tells me that things can happen.
In 1995, Keith Mann was the first recipient of the Don Hartman Memorial Trophy while playing baseball at Rider High School. The trophy was given to the most outstanding junior or senior on the team. Yesterday, his parents, Deborah and Greg Mann, received the trophy from the Wichita Falls Independent School District. Deborah told me how it felt to receive the Gold Glove.
We have a lot of good memories from the baseball years. We had a lot of fun. I mean, for us it was fun. Keith, it was probably stressful, and you know, having to perform and whether he did good or bad. But for us, you know, going to the games and going to the out-of-town games, and Greg would go and watch every practice that they had and things like that. So there's a lot of good memories that we have.
Former Rider coach and current Legacy High School head baseball coach Jeremy Crouch was the person to present the Manns with the trophy, and he expressed how that moment felt to him.
Well, it was special. You know, it meant a lot to me just because, at least for a moment, they had some temporary joy that the dad could see his son's name on the side of that trophy and kind of reminisce about, you know, the good player that Keith was, and kind of just bring him just a moment of peace, and it meant a lot to me for that.
Greg told me it's still surreal that this trophy has found its way to their home after years of seeing it in the Rider trophy case, and that they will take care of it.
Seeing it in there, I mean, I never thought I was going to get it, you know, just be a caretaker of it rather, you know, but we'll guard it, that's for sure, you know. It means a lot to me, you know, so it means a lot to her. It means a lot to all of us, but me especially. So it's going to stay right there.
It means a lot. I'm a part of it. I always felt like an outsider. Now I can say I'm a fellow American, and that's big.
Coach Oyvind Zahl has been a resident of the United States for over 37 years. He was born in Norway and came to Texas as a foreign exchange student and graduated from Texas Tech. Coach Zahl became a U.S. citizen last week in Dallas. He told me how his experience while holding a green card shaped his perspective on wanting to become an American citizen.
It's one thing to tell you when you talk to foreigners that you gotta don't talk about religion and don't talk about politics. And I kind of stayed off because I wasn't a citizen. I could have an opinion, but I didn't have a voice. And now that I'm a citizen, I do have that opportunity to vote. My swearing in was 2 days after the last day to register to vote, but I'm still happy that I got my citizenship.
However, he did have obstacles out of his control on the path to citizenship that kept the coach from applying earlier.
My biggest concern was to give up my Norwegian citizenship. Norway, or most Scandinavian countries, didn't accept dual citizenship until 2020. So when that came around, so in 2020 is when I finally started thinking about, I had my green card, maybe I should go start thinking about getting my citizenship.
At the Northwest High School swim meet last weekend, Coach Zahl explained that hearing the national anthem was a different experience this time.
Before they played the national anthem, they announced congratulations to Coach Zahl for getting the citizenship, and then played the national anthem. I tell you, they hit a little different when they did that. I got a little choked up at the time, so.
You have to find the right person, someone that wants to be able to go to the grocery store and know that one of their patients is going to be there and may ask a question. So it takes a unique person to practice in a rural area.
In Texas, you would need 242 new primary care physicians in rural areas to equal the ratio of access that urban counties have. This is according to a study done by Concordia University in Austin. CEO for Faith Community Health System in Jacksboro, Frank Beeman, told me one reason for this is the state's geography.
You have to go 45 miles roughly in any direction before you find the next group that provides obstetric care. And we deliver babies here. So that's a pretty big gap, and we talked about OB deserts. Well, we need to have family medicine doctors and OB doctors that are willing to move to rural communities.
Beeman went on to say, out of the 254 counties in Texas, about 235 are considered professional shortage areas. These are areas that do not have enough healthcare professionals to meet the needs of the population. He believes these pair of solutions could help bring that deficit down.
I think if the state can get together and continue to do tuition reimbursement, because these kids, they come out of school and they've got $250,000 in debt, and that's a hard nut to cover over the next 10, 15 years. So if they can find some kind of incentive, I think you'll get more people into it. To accelerate and to incentivize and maybe promote the nurse practitioners. So you can provide care by giving more flexibility, more freedom to maybe advanced nurse practitioners, which can help alleviate some of the shortages.
Beeman has been CEO for the past 15 years. He began his career back in 1986 and has spent the entirety of it in rural areas. He says rural medicine is a very distinct practice compared to an urban setting. Physicians use more of what they learned in school, and that could be attractive in bringing in new healthcare professionals.
You're probably confined to a certain level of practice, and anything outside of your, maybe primary care goes to somebody else. In a rural community, the physicians have to practice at a broader scope. So they're doing things. They may have to get into doing a little bit of endocrinology. They have to maybe get into nephrology. There's some things that they have to practice a little more of what they learned in school, and that's appealing to a lot of doctors.
I just want to say thank you to our friend Fernando, being there when I needed him in the 90s. So that is a part that I'm still here, and I'm have the opportunity to enjoying all of this.
Fernando Angeles is one of the oldest cyclists in the 2025 Hotter Than Hell 100. He's 85 and has been racing in the event on and off since age 54. He's back after health issues sidelined him the past 4 years.
I had open heart surgery, replaced my aortic valve, and I even biked 3 years ago with the surgeon who performed surgery on me. And they could not believe that here I am, 85 years old, and I'm biking anywhere from 10 to 15 miles every day when I can.
Fernando and Heinz Kremnitzer of Austria had their lives intertwined for eternity after Fernando saved his life back in the 1990s.
More than 24 years ago, Heinz came from Austria looking for to be trained how to train a quarter horse. He was kicked in the chest. I was on call in the emergency room, and so I took care of him.
Since that day, Heinz and Fernando have created a special bond that has stood the test of multiple decades.
Heinz became like a member of the family, and I know the kids before they were even born.
Heinz and his son Felix are experiencing their first Hot or Now 100, all while attempting the Great Divide.
2,889 miles and 155,000 feet of climbing.
The father-son duo began cycling and climbing from Alberta, Canada to Antelope Wells, New Mexico on June 25th. Felix is on summer break from university and told me it's a surreal journey to go on with his father.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do a trip like this with my dad. And we thought it probably is a good idea after 2 weeks in Texas to go biking again, so we don't gain all the weight we lost on the trips.
Both Heinz and Felix are enjoying their time in the States, but both agree they did underestimate one aspect about the Lone Star State during their travels.
It's definitely the heat of Texas. We were planning of going like 100 miles every day. When we get into Texas, starting at the top of the Panhandle, and we quit that after 3 days because it got too hot, and we cut down all the way down to like 50 to 80 miles.
From Wichita Falls, Devon Bajek, News Channel 6.